everyone, welcome once again to another Cynical series. This time we are covering this map in Chosin Reservoirs 1v1, and it's a tier 4 match. Well, I hope it is, I didn't check, but we see Other and we see Sammy, so if both players pick them in tier 3 or 2, I would be worried. Anyways, here we have Korsensei with us. He wanted to share this match with me on the DM because he thought it was very interesting for some reasons. Which of them is that Mega Charizard, that we have actually covered on this channel before, did a very greedy opening and also feature some spicy big units that we will see on the map. And yeah, Mega Charizard, as we already know for the other video, it's kind of how you call when you are an emotional player, passionate player, you know. Anyways, Koro-sensei, welcome to the channel.
Yes, yeah, this game is tier 4, as you correctly mentioned, and I think it was really interesting, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I mean, Mega Charizard is playing Sammy, which is, in my opinion, the hardest CO to pilot on tier 4 at least. Probably the skill ceiling for COs is contested between Eagle and Sammy. I don't know which one of them is has the higher sky ceiling. You can do a lot of things with line strike, but with Sammy and stronger infantry, stronger openings, and then a victory march, which is can basically win you a loss match into a victory, is kind of difficult to play because she's also weaker with the vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, this map is so big that at some point we will get a huge swing with some victory march down the line. And actually, I think she was close to winning at this point. She had like a 10k advantage or something, and she was close to the capture limit. But yeah, it's gonna be really
Let's not spoil anything. But the interesting thing also is, oh man, I got I forgot about it. Fuck. Anyways. Yes, the airport. Sammy is rushing the neutral base, of course, because you have the earlier you get it, the more units you can throw. But she's also, instead of going this way, she went straight for the airport with the second infantry, and something tells me that she's gonna go with T-copters, because T-copters in this map, at least one of them is a mass, because you have to capture 3 properties, so they will pay for themselves, and they don't cost unit count actually, because you are using the 3 bases as together with the airport.
Yeah, exactly, and especially with Sami, she has that +1 movement on transport, so she can actually do something unique on this map. From her airport, she can, in one turn, go to the harbor in the corner.
1, 2, 3,
and
4, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, and me as Adder, I can't. So she's really a fitting pick for this map, I think.
I think it's not a super big deal in my opinion, because the turn you are waiting, you can put the T-copter here, for example, boost 1 infantry, and then on the next turn you move it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's not a super big deal, but makes it so this T-copter can go here 1 turn earlier, I guess. I didn't count the tiles from here to here, but maybe you also get to here 1 turn earlier. I don't know. I don't think it's super big deal, but I mean, everything helps.
Yeah, when you think about it this way, yeah, that's not that big. What then? I didn't think about this. Yeah.
But the thing with the boost, doing a boost with an infantry is, this boost is gonna look. I was talking about this boost. If you were a normal CO, you put this decopter here, where it is this infantry, and the infantry from here will get next turn to this city. So it's actually a very important boost to do, because it makes so you get to the property one turn earlier. So I could argue it's not a big deal to do this in one turn.
I see, yeah.
Because you actually maybe want to do this, because this infantry will be already here capping and will go here. So the next infantry that you will on this base will want to go here, and the problem is then the airport unit will have to go elsewhere to not make it redundant, this boost, you know. But it's just
Yes. Exactly.
little
You can
tweaks.
you can then go to the corner faster.
You build the tank turn 5, but your opponent has none yet.
Yeah, she has gone for a bit of a greedy opening using the immediate transport and going for the harbor.
I mean, it's not that greedy. Now it's greedy, I think.
Yeah, the second one. The second one is big. I mean, now I'm flat just a tank up.
Yeah, on such a big map, if you don't will an early tank, your tank, if you will it like turn 8 or 7, it's gonna reach the front lines like day 11 or something like that. So it's very delayed vehicles. And on top of that, Sammy has weaker vehicles, so she will have a hard time to fight stronger vehicles and behind on tempo.
Yeah. Actually, what I thought that she would go for was early recon opening, because I checked some of her earlier games. And that's actually why I skipped the base at the bottom. I mean the capture. This infantry at the front had the opportunity to capture the city, but I skipped it because I figured she might be in the corner early and harass me, so that I can't capture the next city if I don't skip this.
To be honest, on this map, I like to skip this city and go for this one or even this one, because this one once it gets into the middle game, it's very hard to capture because it's so away from your base, and once the fight starts happening, you won't have so many healthy infantries. But if you manage to capture it, holding it is easier, but against Sammy, I could argue it's much more easier to lose. And a port is much more harder to hold than a city, because on a city you can see it and get repair, but not on a port.
Yeah.
And also I didn't mention, but these players are around low 1000 elo, so they are not gonna do crazy stuff like carrier day 12, like I have covered it in some maps, but they won't do crazy stuff like neither top players like Kambe or Tordred. So expect above average match, but nothing too I mean, we can learn some things, like they are gonna play well. That's what I want to mean. Anyways, this T-copter, I don't know what you plan to do with it, unless you want to capture this and be so greedy. It's like, yeah, she's probably going for this. I have watched it and I know, so I'm spoiling it, but the thing is that it's so greedy to do that, in my opinion. Like, you are delaying one tank already. But at this point, what was your thought process with this tank right here? Because you are not committing to any side.
Yeah, actually, I was kind of nervous as to where to commit, because I knew that like the top con tower, how I opened, is the one that I should get, And I figured, okay, should I protect it because I expect a recon, or should I maybe go and harass her at her com tower? And yeah, I just gone for the safe play in the end, and I decided to just sit on the forest so that my tank doesn't get revealed if she doesn't have vision already.
I think this is a very nice placement for the tank because you will be able to gain vision on these cities, and even though a lonely other tank won't be able to interrupt a cap of Sami, if you get infantry support you will be able to hit KO and deny the capture. And I could not bring my tank to harass any infantry against Sami on their side of the com tower, because the only way I'm denying the com tower is to sit on it, because I won't have any infantry to support the 2-hit KO I mentioned here, because it's so far away and you don't want to have infantry here, because this is not an area you want to cap, because you are not gonna hold it, and I don't think you want to go hard here. You might want to stretch here around your com tower and maybe be more conservative around this area. But I mean, if you look at it, the way that bases reinforce here, only one base goes this way, but on the other side these two can go easily into this area. I mean, this has to go this way for sure, and this has the two options, but as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 2.5 turns, and to the com tower it's like 3 or 4. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, it's like 3.5. So actually this is stronger for you. So this counting of 6 tiles of the tanks is something you have to keep in mind to see where you are stronger to fight, because if you start a fight here tank to tank, eventually if you keep fighting in the same place you are gonna have more advantage than your enemy, because you will eventually have tanks ready to counter and your enemy won't. And you will the anti-air day 8.
Yeah, the thought process was basically that on this map I expected a lot of air fights, and so I built a preemptive anti-air. I didn't have any intel if she already built some. In the end, okay, she built 2 T-copters, but yeah, I guess it really was just a guess.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the anti-air. I'm very greedy with my anti-air, so I don't build one until I have 3 to 4 tanks. But I think it's not a bad choice, not at all. But I don't think I agree with where you're going, because you could go this way, because you don't want to go. You want to bring your anti-air where your vehicles are, because your anti-air is to cover your tanks.
Yeah, exactly. Afterwards, I also disagree with this move, and I think the anti-air would have been much better at the top.
And I think you should have attacked this, because even though it's out of your range and your tank won't be able to reinforce this attack, the enemy, imagine the enemy is not expected to go on this here. It's very likely that she has no, and even then it's just a Sami tank. You will be able to. I would have attacked, to be honest.
But does it actually knock the infantry down to 3 HP on the city? Because you need to knock the Sami infantry down to 3, right?
Yeah, but it's not about interrupting the cap. It's about making Sami pay 1k on repairs, because when you have like funds like this in early game and you make an infantry to repair, is 1k effectively, because she will have only 14k to use, so she won't be able to go double tank infantry, for example, because she has 14, and also you will be able to kill the infantry next turn. with one of your
Oh.
infantries or with the same tank. And
Oh, I see. I see. So basically, also I can assume that she has similar income because, well, there's not much chance for deviation here.
you can assume she has a similar income than you. Yes, you can do that, but not necessarily. And the thing is, when you see an infantry here, you can reverse engineer her opening, so you can assume some things, but this requires a lot of time to think about it. And if you know the map well and the opening, if day 6 there is an infantry capping here, she has done something fishy, because this is normally not this is a very extreme case, but if you see a day 6 infantry here from Sami, a T-copter or an APC happen. But the thing I want to say, was not a bad play to stay with the tank, because it was the safest option. But I like to be aggressive, but I insist, it was not a bad option. Because
yeah, I guess I'm a bit more of a defensive player in general.
I have watched the replay, not in depth, but you were playing very, not passive, but very safe, which I like and I don't like at the same time. I mean, I don't like it because it's not my style, but I like it because it actually worked out for you.
Yeah, it certainly has its advantages and disadvantages. I mean, if the enemy just does the correct front shift, like where I'm not turtling, then I just get blown out of the water. But yeah, here it kind of worked. Yeah, with the tanks I decided, okay, because she was capturing the city, she's most likely gathering her forces at the top. And that's why I want to get more vision on top. That's why I shifted the tanks this way.
And you build the recon very late. To be honest, I would have built a recon before the anti-air to gather some intel and maybe park the recon on a city, because a recon on a city is very strong, because it won't die on a one hit KO from a tank, not even a Sami tank, but not even a max tank will be able to get rid of it with the help of an infantry. So that's a very strong position to stay with the recon. You gather info, you deny the city, and then you have the high ground to respond to the tank aggression if your recon gets hard. So I like to place my recons on cities when I have tank coverage. It's very useful. But right now you are kind of blind because you don't know where she is right now. You can imagine, but you still don't know. You are not sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Afterwards, so I was basically doing some suboptimal build order.
I don't think it was that suboptimal, because at the end of the day you have the tank superiority here, and even if these two tanks were here, you would still have the tank superiority. But you are not exploiting it too much, not yet. So I want to see some aggression from you. Okay, she was aiming for the com tower capture, for sure. Knowing Mega Charizard that she's so greedy, he was going for it. You can, you can bet.
Yeah, at this point when I saw the transport copter, I also thought, okay, this was some really greedy build, and then I think on this turn I decided to then turn up the aggression, because I thought, okay, she can't have that many units up here.
Also, I think you should have willed your T-copter much more earlier, because the T-copter pays for itself and it doesn't cause any unit count. So it's basically a win-win situation, the T-copter. I like this anti-air movement a lot.
Yeah, I figured that if she wants to kill it, she has to at least spend 3 units for it. 1 to get vision and then 2 to attack.
And yeah, I think this was a solid turn. Maybe I can think of a better way, but it could be cheating because I can see what Sam is doing. So I think it's pretty solid. Because
yeah, at the same time though, I go aggressive up north, but then also I get greedy down in the south. So I don't know if maybe I should have not captured the city above the harbor, because this is certainly more in her side.
yeah, I think these two captures were kind of greedy. This was fine, and this was fine too. But these are closer to the enemy area, so I could have just stay with the infantry on the forest and on the cities, and aiming for a 2-hit KO on the infantries that are trying to capture. So you will end up with the first strike and the infantry advantage. And even though you are other, so you have only 110 base power, you still have a 33% chance of getting the 2-hit KO. So you have a chance of killing units. But I like to do this kind of ambushes, like for example preparing a recon and an infantry to 2-hit KO an infantry that is gonna cap something with a recon if my CO is not strong enough to secure the 2-hit KO, and you will a medium tank.
Yeah, exactly. So I really don't know about this move in retrospect, but what I figured was, okay, I have like all of my vehicles up top, and she just has to have some of her own. And I figured, since she didn't really show any of them, that she most likely has them down south. And even if she doesn't, I think I can fight on top, with the units I have already. And so I bid this medium tank just to have some strong punch at the bottom. And I figured if she has like 3 tanks like me on the top, just if she has them on the south, then this tank can maybe counter them.
And I think also medium tank is a very strong choice against Sammy, because you can sit on a city and that medium tank is not gonna die unless she brings indirects or a bomber. That medium tank is completely safe. And indirects on this map, yes, there are some nice placements. For example, this forest here, it's a very solid position, but there are not too many. Like you won't will more than 2 or 3 indirects. So if you have the intel enough to tell if there is something fishy going on, you can always swift that medium tank elsewhere. But
Yep.
I like the medium tank, but you know she's going for it.
Yeah, I actually thought instead of a medium tank, maybe I could have also built some artillery, a copter, and then infantry. Or if I build the medium tank, then at the bottom base, because it goes according to the plan much more. But yeah, I guess it works out fine. I just don't know if it's optimal. But I think it's not bad, per se.
Does the recon kills this 7 HP T-copter? Do you know if it's a roll?
I haven't checked actually. But actually I did another mistake. I didn't really count her range, so I thought she was already on the city, so my recon couldn't reach.
Okay. So
yeah, so
okay.
So when my turn rolls around, we will see that I just get vision. I didn't even think that I could attack it.
Well, that happens. And now she builds the anti-air, day 11. That's too late, in my opinion, anti-air, because the reason is because it's too late. It's such a big map that it's gonna take 3 turns to reach the front lines, and that's a lot of time for a copter to do damage. But anyways, you are able to capture the 2 safe cities, but you get blasted on the other 2. Let's see what you do. You had vision? Maybe this infantry got trapped on the forest, and then
it got trapped. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, okay. You could have gained vision if you move 1 infantry, but you should have maybe no. You needed to use that infantry here to move it here, but that infantry going prefers to capture it. It's fine. I think it was not even worth it to do that. I don't know. This looks. If you are gonna go this way with the medium tank, with the medium tank here. That's a loss of 4 movement of the pure medium tank.
Exactly, and it's not only from movement, it's like a whole turn, basically.
Yeah. And this tank is going here. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Even though you have 1 tank coverage, you are going into the enemy lines and also the airport, so you could perfectly be 2-hit KO. Well, not 2-hit KO because it's Sami, so she has 100% firepower on the vehicles and copters, but still.
Yeah, this was really greedy. I also don't agree with this afterwards.
Normally I could have put the tank here, and that means I have coverage from 2 more tanks, because this will be another movement if I get attack on tank, and this also means that this infantry won't get attacked, because if you attack this tank you won't be able to attack this infantry. So if I put all my forces together, I'm minimizing the amount of engagements the enemy can do into me.
Exactly, this placement was really risky.
And at the end of the day, this forest was... I mean, you block this infantry from interrupting this cap, but she can use this tank, which is good, because tanks attacking infantry instead of your tanks is good, because you will kill the tanks. But the problem is that this tank on the forest, which is safe on fog, because you have to place an infantry next to it to rebel and then attack. There is something to attack next to it and at the same time rebel the tank. So you are giving so much value into attacking this infantry, which she wants to interrupt anyways. Yeah, she is punishing those greedy infantries. You cannot interrupt this for cap. I mean, the problem against Sami is to be able to hold this port, you need some sort of indirect somewhere, and here an artillery or here. And if you don't have that, I don't think you will be able to hold this port against Sami. So even though you are able to cap it, the infantry will die next turn and you have no answer for it. So if you are going for greedy caps, I would argue that you have planned beforehand to back up that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I really don't have any backup yet. Like my tanks still take some time. Actually, I also shifted my anti-air down there. I don't know why actually. Maybe it was just that I guessed that helicopters were going down, which they weren't. But yeah, for some reason I shifted it down.
I think this anti-air was very comfortable here. You should have not moved it.
Yeah, I'll just leave it there.
But it's fine. Now you see the copter here, so you are gonna probably go north. But you get some kills. Okay, good. I think I should. You don't reach. I was thinking about killing this infantry to make sure this tank won't die next turn, or at least it will waste a lot of 2 units.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, my tank can't reach his tank, even with the power, I think. So yeah, I decided to just kill some more infantry, I guess.
And when I saw this side slip, I was surprised because I was not expecting a side slip in the middle of a turn, and I was not watching too many engagements to take. But I think at the end of the turn, I was kinda agreeing with it.
Yeah, I think my reasoning was really just to get back in the forest, because previously I couldn't, I guess.
I could have killed this infantry with enter for the reason of making this tank forcing an infantry. Well, like, no, because someone can attack in this tank, reveal this tank, and then attack this tank with the other. No, I couldn't have attacked the infantry then. Just because of the placement this tank is. If this tank was not here, I could have killed this infantry. So now you have to spend 2 units to kill a 5 HP tank.
Yeah, and also one thing I also get with the power is my infantry in the back killed the one in the front, and my copter also is able to reach the city. I think. Oh no, it was
4,
before.
5, 6. It reached.
No.
You mean which one?
The transport copter. Did it also reach it before?
Yes. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, yeah. Then that doesn't matter.
It's fine. The good thing about other is that you can do some sloppy side slip, and the punishment for it is not as high as I don't know, a sloppy lightning strike. But I think it's very important because you are gonna get out the scale, not against Sammy. I think you won't have that hard of a time against Sammy as other in late game, but if you are facing someone as Yes or Jake, you need to make sure that you are winning in early game, because you are stronger in early game. Also, this helicopter, why here instead of?
Actually, I don't know at all. I mean, it can't even reach the harbor down below, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, this placement doesn't make any sense at all. I should have gone maybe to the middle base and then fly the transport down to the harbor to capture it finally. Because over all this time, I didn't capture the harbor yet.
I would have moved the helicopter here, so. Well, no, because I was thinking about boosting one infantry and the other transporting it, but that means you are building 2 infantry. And well, no, because okay, yes, I would have moved here then. So you boost 1 infantry, you move the other, and you can build something, a vehicle and a helicopter, a helicopter here. Yeah. But I mean, you want to move an infantry to cap the harbor, but you already have 1 helicopter, and if you stay with the infantry on the city, this T-copter won't be able to land here, so you are completely safe, unless there is a big copter coming, which is not because you have locked the way. So I would have not with the T-copter, and I will have used this later. You don't need to.
Yeah, I think this actually was one of the reasons why I did a second one, because in my head I thought that I needed to block 2 tiles on the city above, so she can't go there, which is nonsense. But I guess it's just for my inexperience. Like, I mean, I got into the game like 1.5 months ago. So yeah.
The transports needs to stay on a tile that the unit that they are transporting can stay to in order to be able to disembark. I guess you already knew that.
Yeah, but I just I just brain farted basically
Okay.
because I thought that if I leave 2 tiles open, then she can go there, but the 2 tiles have to be adjacent to each other.
Okay. You can also brag about how many games you have in Global League at the moment.
25 at the moment, and actually since a few weeks.
It's crazy. When I started playing Global League, I used to have 10, 12 at the most case stream, but it already felt like too many games. Like some games I was just, okay, I don't remember what I was doing, what was my game plan, but I'm just like I was repeating the same game plan for the map I have done like 3 times, and I was not even paying that much attention. So I think it's you need a lot of time or not played very good if you have 25 games.
Yeah, I guess the quality really suffers because I really lose in some embarrassing ways sometimes. But yeah, I guess that's because I'm more of an intuitive player, and it's too much at the same time.
Okay.
So my turns don't really take long, but yeah, I just then play a lot.
Also here, Mega Charizard is going kind of middle strong in both sizes. As you can see, half of the vehicles are on one side and half of the other on the other side, which I think is not a very good strategy because she will lose here, and she could have won by now with these vehicles around this area. So I think she's doing Sammy another mistake here. But let's see.
She's a bit indecisive.
You are able to capture this city, and your medium tank is gonna be on range next turn. So I think getting this is worth, because you will have an answer to cover these caps, and there is something coming. And at the end of the day, you are also going kinda mix. You were going hard here and weak here, maybe too greedy with the infantries, but you are gonna win here. I mean, you cannot push farther than this, but the thing is, you know that she is going hard here. So, but you also see vehicles here. So the thing is, you know she's not going strong on either side. So with a medium tank and some reinforcements, you will be able to beat this back and also win here. Because, I mean, you can see very like 2 hit KO here, the copter dying here. So there is a lot of. Okay, I think that this is another mistake. Even though the city looks very tasty to use, the problem I see is that look at the base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you attack from the forest, you won't be able to get hit by the enemy. So the imaginary tank, the possible tank, is here, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here.
Yeah.
So if you attack from the forest, you won't get attack. If you attack from here, you won't get attack. So even though it's lower terrain, it's better.
I see. Yeah, I certainly need to count these tank distances more, because I don't really do that often.
Yeah, if you don't commit into the two ranges tank range of a base, you will be safe most of the time. So also you can count this airport, but the airport is not that big of a deal because you don't wheel copters every turn. Yes,
Yeah.
you can do, but tanks are much more common. And even a tank, if it's not a tank, it's an anti-air, it's a medium tank or a neo tank. Medium tank will need 5. It kind of works too. And here you place the tank on the city. I like it. Instead of retreating, you get the kills, and they have covered. I mean, you don't want to jump into fighting here because you are already pushing very hard here. But I think your objective with these tanks is to be able to hold these cities at least, or most of them.
Yeah, what I thought was I should kill as many infantry as possible, because her victory march is actually coming up, and each infantry, even if it's just at 1 HP, could mean a possible capture flip, city flip.
I could have moved the recon somewhere else instead of these forests. I don't know where.
Yeah, to maybe block off the infantry so it can't get interrupted.
2, 3,
Also,
4, 5,
also
6.
it doesn't add anything on the vision here.
Yeah, I think you could have done that, but not because of the copter, because of maybe an infantry. But even sacking an infantry here to interrupt, it's worth. So you want to leave that open, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because if C interrupts, it's good for you because it's a guaranteed kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if C interrupts, you can move this tank away and kill it, the infantry with the recon. And if C attacks with the P-copter or a tank, you kill the tank.
Then maybe I should have slided down the recon to the middle to get some vision, because it's dark for me down there.
Or maybe one space lower, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fine here. I don't think it's too bad. Okay. I think that's one too many anti-airs. I don't mind another anti-air, but I think that's too many anti-airs.
Yeah, exactly. I think I should have went with some artillery maybe, and yeah, I thought basically this anti-air at the top will be dead, and then I figured if she copter spams, then I have to have 2 anti-air at the bottom, because I thought that's the only way she can get my medium tank, and I thought this third anti-air would have been the replacement for the one at top. But yeah, afterwards it's like really too many. Like it's 4 anti-air when I just killed a battlecopter.
Yeah, and this anti-air is not gonna get one shot by a tank, and it cannot even be attacked. Like, this spot for the anti-air was very safe because of the same logic I told you about the range of the base, and you don't mind at all by the airport because yeah, copter won't attack an anti-air, so you are completely safe. And it's not like you are facing other which can move one extra space that you have to keep in mind in fog for the same reason I told you. But I think it could have been The safe option was to wheel an anti-air to replace this one, but I would have honestly done, because you have killed everything and there is only one copter and whatever is coming from the base. So in the worst case scenario, which is the one we are seeing right now, you are not even that overwhelmed. So yeah. In why the tank here? Okay, I don't agree with that, because you could have go to the forest instead, and you are asking to get 2-hit KO. So you would, I mean, you have 2 9 HP tanks, so you won't be able to 2-hit KO it. I don't know if it's a roll on the power, but the thing is you can get 2-hit KO and then block the city with a recon or with an infantry. And then the tank coming from here has to come this way, but you can block this tile also with another infantry. And now your 2 tanks kill a tank and they won't get shoot back. So I think this...
You mean herd tank movement right now, right?
Yes, this tank here is... Oof, I don't like it. Because you know you have lost to an enemy army which is not super numerous. You have only 2 injured tanks and anti-air, but still, you don't want to expose yourself. Maybe she was baiting you to attack into this city, but I think you... And the copter... I would have shift with the copter going south, and this copter too, and bring everything into this area. To be honest, not trying to push back you here. I would have... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if it turns out to be a top versus bottom HQ race, then Sami just wins because she has that victory march. So she should have just shifted and then pushed at the bottom.
Yeah, push at the bottom and get properties. And yes, you are gaining some properties here, but it's still you won't be able to keep up with her rate of capturing, because she's harder to interrupt and she will have victory march. And also maybe she was baiting you because she just will a neo tank, which I don't like, to be honest.
Yeah, I also think if she wants to tech up, then maybe a medium tank, because this way she can have some reinforcement for the bottom still. This way she only has infantry.
Okay, I think you already know what's the mistake here.
Let me see.
You should have attacked with a bicopter first.
Yeah, certainly. Definitely. Like immediately after I attacked with the tank, I also thought to myself, okay, this was a mistake.
And also, I think there is a more important mistake. You can see this tank here. You can 2-hit KO it somewhat reliably. Actually it's a roll to get this kill with the copter and the tank. But the thing is, get vision first. Move this recon into this city. Get vision, because if she's for some reason 2 tanks here, maybe you don't want to attack. Get vision first, and you instead attack first, get lucky with the roll, move this infantry here, and then you get vision, which you don't see anything, but you know what I mean. First get vision, then do the moves.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I definitely need to work on.
And this cap I don't agree with, because the same reason as we have talked, it's on the 2-turn range of the northern base, so you are on danger zone right now. You have to back up. Right
yeah,
here.
Exactly. It's like her opening was really greedy, but now I'm really greedy, and I even do this capture, which is just this infantry is dead.
This infantry, maybe not even this infantry, but this infantry is completely suicide. Like, no, this is not a good idea. But anyways, Okay. I like that you are weakening the infantry, but I mean,
Uh,
I think I agree with this move. But for the reason of walling this copter, you put this here. But you know what I would have done? I would have killed this infantry instead.
Yeah, exactly, because a victory march is coming up, and this
No.
4 HP infantry is city flip.
Yes, but also there is another reason. If you kill this infantry, she won't be able to see this infantry. So now she will have to spend. She won't be able to kill this because Sammy cannot one-shot this infantry, and she won't be able to attack this copter with the copter unless she somehow to hit KO this tank with stuffs that she has.
I see. Yeah, that's much better. Should have gone for the 4 HP one. Yeah.
She's going for the victory march, so weaken infantry when she has not as much charge is good, but against a victory march is pointless.
Yeah, I think here we were like from day 13 on for like 3 or 4 days. We were playing like basically live, so we were both online at the same time. And I definitely moved too fast and should have gone for this 4 HP one.
It's so greedy. Like, look at this movement.
Yeah, I mean, she already has like 3 of the 4 corner properties, so this was just the cherry on top.
Okay. Yeah, she's able to get the 2-hit KO on the tank, but it's fine because you still have your medium tank to answer that.
Exactly, and I have my anti-air to finish her copter.
So this is a very bad move, in my opinion, because first she gets vision of this anti-air, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna place my B-copter on range of this anti-air. Like, that's completely bad, because this anti-air is covering this tank, and she even attacks first with the tank, so it's all wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, she is losing basically her 1 HP tank, her 8 HP tank, anti-air and a copter, while I just lose... well, no, I lose a tank beforehand, and I lose a copter. Yeah, okay, so I win at the end.
Yes, but the problem with that is she could have done the same move, but better, but she could have not do anything and still even better, in my opinion, because now she's gonna lose this anti-air, she's gonna lose this copter, and she's gonna get hit on this tank by this tank, and she's also gonna get interrupt here. I mean, you don't have to interrupt this, to be honest. You can just kill this 1 HP tank and let her cap, and you will retake the cap because you will be stronger than her, so that means. But what you need to do is start blocking some cities from her or kill some infantry.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I should have done. I underestimated the potency of a victory march, and I thought, looking at the KD, that I killed really most of her infantry, which is, well, she still has a lot of infantry on the field.
Okay, but now you get 3 caps. Well, you first science sleep, and I think you do a very, very bad mistake here. Okay, no, you don't, because I was remembering this attack and I was not sure if you moved this T-copter away or not. Okay, I agree with this move, because if you move this T-copter away, she will be able to land here with the infantry and you will be on danger.
But what I should have done was do this maybe before the power, so I can charge my meter a bit more.
Yes, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Oops, you don't get it. This is in my opinion is pointless, and the reason for that is you still leave the city open, and there is a victory march coming, so you won. I mean, you will kill one infantry, but you could have done something else with this tank. I mean, it's good because you are front switching from here, so now she was preparing for a push here, you denied, because you can see that you got some kills with the tanks, but maybe I could have tried to finish this tank off. I don't know, it's not bad, but okay, this is not a good idea to attack into this area, because you are in the two turns range of this base. Like right now, this neo tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's very dangerous. And
Yeah, I also don't know what I thought about
5,
this
6.
because this move really just doesn't make a lot of sense.
This anti-air doesn't go into the property, and this infantry should be here, and this recon should be here. This anti-air should be here. Yeah, you have to sit on cities. There is no value on killing this, on injuring this infantry. She's gonna be able to.
What I wanted to do with this was to really just get some vision and maybe draw some of her attacks to this recon, because I figured if she does this, then my units at the bottom can mop up the attacking units.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, now comes a big turn.
Yeah, that's a free city. That's that 1 HP tank. One city. That's another city. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have like a 10k deficit, while before this turn I think I was like 1k behind or ahead.
You were 1k ahead.
1k ahead. Yeah, so basically this was a really huge flip.
I mean, she got 7 properties, but okay, no, she's just waiting this infantry here.
I think she was also like 2 or 3 properties away from the capture limit.
It has to be 70% of the total, and the total is 52.
Yeah.
And 75% of 52 is 38.
Okay, so it was
I don't know. Let me
far away still.
Let me check the calculator.
Okay, then maybe I mix up 2 different games, but
I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
it's I think it's the 75% or the 70. Maybe I'm confusing. But in the worst case scenario is 36. So you were not still.
And in any way, it's still like she has a huge lead. And actually now this recon, even though it was a bad move overall, it revealed actually her bomber for me. So this was a little bit lucky, I guess.
Yeah, you oof 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, so I just have to charge my power meter basically.
And that's just a couple of tank to tank.
Yeah,
okay,
and the thing is, she basically knows this technically. So I figured that I can't get the power meter, and I'm not sure. Maybe I can, but I didn't see any way.
Okay, you should have moved this recon and attacked this recon with this recon, and not for the sake of getting charge and getting vision. I mean, not this recon, maybe, I don't know, any engagement, like, for example...
Maybe move this infantry in the forest, get vision, and then I would have seen her recon, and then...
this anti-air into this copter.
Yeah, definitely.
You kill this copter, you gain charge, and then you get vision with the recon. You put the recon on the seat. You attack the recon with the tank and finish it with the recon on the forest. You get vision of the bomber, then you see it's free, and then you kill it.
Exactly, this would have been so much better.
Yeah, and it could have not been how you call it, one hit kill, but you would have leave it at 1 HP. If I think so. An anti-air does like 90 base damage against a bomber, something like that. So against 10% defense because of the power, but you have 120. I don't know, but it could have been perfect because also she would have lost all that charge because she's on power, but you didn't.
Exactly. This was, I think my play was just really suboptimal. There's no way around it.
And now, even though if this bomber attacks this medium tank, I mean, I know what you are doing. You are baiting the medium tank into attacking this, the medium tank, the bomber into the medium tank. But I don't know. You could have killed. It's okay. What I don't agree is you pushing to this area because you know there is a neo tank coming and some more units. So you should have retreat here and push all over this area, clean up the infantries and recapture at least 4 properties. And with those 4 properties, you would have been able to come back in income in the match. Because if you try to push everywhere, you are gonna get blasted here now because of the neo tank, you know. So you have to retreat.
Yeah, certainly. I think while playing, I thought of this play as a big bluff, and it's just a bad bluff because she knows that I have really a lot of units at the bottom, so I can't have that much on top. So yeah, she just I think will go in this turn, and she's totally correct in doing so.
I don't agree with that bluff, because if you are facing a bad player or a lower rated player, they don't respect you. They are like going yeeting, and they are gonna yeet and they are gonna eat you. And if you are facing an experienced player, they are gonna yeet anyways because they know that you have all here and not here. So you are gonna lose either. I think the bluff was not a very good one, but it's okay.
Yeah.
What is he doing with this infantry? I mean, getting vision of the medium tank, but why don't you retreat with it and try to save it? And why do you stay with this infantry in the city instead of putting on the forest? I don't agree at all with that. And also, this is very painful to watch. Come on, use your helicopter and save your infantry and put them around here.
Yeah, basically she just lost 4 infantry and a transport copter just because she never moved them. I mean, maybe she wanted to secure them because she thought that I will go over there, but yeah.
But I still don't think it's worth.
Yeah.
There is an expression in Spanish which is los ladrones creen que todos son de su condición. Like, it's something like translates like thieves think that all are of their condition, something like that. Like if you are in this case, if you are a very greedy player and you could do this kind of play of putting a T-copter into this area, they think that everyone else could do it, you know?
Yeah, I see.
I mean, you know, the anti-air is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What the hell?
Yeah, this was really a bad retreat. Like, she has to pull back way farther.
You have to... I mean, I don't know how much charge you have on this turn. We will see. But you have 0 charge. Come on, it's safe to put the bomber on 7 away from the anti-air. Maybe 8 to make sure. But come on, not in range of it. You are asking to get blasted. And I mean, you have a recon right here. This recon can get a vision of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so, but still you can get vision of it with a tank.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not likely that you will get a tank here, but maybe you do because you are crazy. So you are giving a... You're doing something for no reason. There is no gain also in putting the bomber here. But anyways, you are fighting into the Neo tank, but the good thing is you are able to wipe the rest of the army but the Neo tank. So when a Neo tank loses all the friendly units around him, is very easy to play around them, because if you have an artillery, you can just trap the Neo tank, put the artillery in range and shoot it. But yeah, I mean, you don't have the artillery, and I think this map, even if you are other, which is not a big fan of artillery, has a very good placements for artillery. This forest covers these 3 cities, or yeah, the forests here are very well placed for some artillery play. So I think you should at least 1 artillery on this map on your strong side, maybe 2.
Yeah, then that's also what I think in retrospect, because well, if I build it early enough, then it also has the time to get up there. But I think after like turn 12 or so, I thought, okay, why bother? Because this map is so big. Before the artillery arrives, it will be meaningless. That was my way of thinking.
I guess. And here, I guess you were expecting the bomber to be like here, right? That's
yeah,
right.
Exactly. I expected it to front shift this way.
Because this bomber, there is no way he stayed here. Like, what? There is no way. But yeah, the bomber is here.
Yeah, there were like 2 results for me basically. Either she pulled the bomber way back, and this way it doesn't really do anything, or she shifted it to the top, and that's why I built the fighter.
Okay, so now she is attacking the bomber, the anti-air with a bomber, which is fine. But the problem with this is that you know that, I mean, Mega Charizard knows that you have another anti-air. And when you are facing a bomber and you have 2 anti-air, the best thing, the thing you have to do, yes, is cover each anti-air with your other anti-air. So now they are not attackable by enemy bombers, unless you somehow also block the way to that anti-air. So this is a big mistake, in my opinion.
Exactly, and she could have at least assumed that my other anti-air was still around. I mean, there's a chance that I've one-shifted, but I mean, it's still risky. It's a really risky.
You are facing a how you call it, a bomber. So the only thing that can stop a bomber that is not a fighter is 2 anti-airs, and even 2 anti-airs are not that good because the bomber can outrun them very easily. But now she sacked this bomber, and you're gonna one-shot it.
Yeah, and also she bit a stealth at this turn.
And Mega Charizard was very mad about this, or was something else?
About this and about what will happen to her stealth soon.
I mean, come on, you sacked this bomber, Mega Charizard. Is completely your fault. I like this recon. Okay, this 4. I don't agree with this 4 HP infantry here as a blocker, because there is infantries around to kill this blocker.
Yeah, this placement is really bad.
So
yeah, and I got another recon to get some vision on top and in the middle.
I think recons on this map you should have one per front. Yes, at least one. So 2 in total, because it's so big of a map, but still the recons have quite a good mobility, because there are many forests, but those forests don't block the ways. So yeah, the way out of the thing, but that's just 2 movement less. So you are still very fast with the recons. And here I like that you, even though it's just a Neo tank and maybe some more vehicles, you retreat here into the safety of your reinforcements. So if Mega Charizard attacks into this, he's gonna get blasted, even the Neo tank, because the Neo tank is gonna get trapped and it's gonna get chip damage away by the copters, or straight up killed by the bomber if she attacks this tank here.
Also, I wanted her to overextend with her infantry so I can kill it more easily before she gets the victory march. Because I thought if we have this exact same position, just with her having victory march, then I lose basically 2 cities and a com tower maybe, and then it's, yeah. And this move is really what sealed the deal, I guess.
I mean, what the fuck? She just said, hey, look, I have a stealth. And she, instead of being sneaky with the stealth, which is in the name of the stealth, she brings here in range of the anti-air range to show it off. Like, yes, it's invisible now, guys, but look, now it's not invisible, now it didn't hide. Vroom, and hide. I'm pretty sure that you were able to watch it hiding, right?
Exactly. And that's when I thought, okay, now I got you, you can't have anything on top, and this game is gonna go my way.
And like, Mega Charizard was complaining about this, but he is giving away all the intel. It's not like you are a magician or a genius or something.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess it's enough to to be called a hacker.
Yeah, like Mega Charizard called Mega Charizard like a hacker or something. And also, we didn't mention it, but this black boat here, what? Why? Like, it was for the sake of making this T-copter not crash. Like, the T-copter already has done its job. Let it crash. Don't. If you can save it, because there is a pre-deployed black boat or something, okay. But I don't see the point. It is 5,000 fans throwing away, and she didn't even kill this anti-air.
Exactly, she really couldn't.
Oh, hello.
Hello, who's there?
Hi. Prime Nova.
Yeah.
Hello. We are recording a video about this match that Koro Sensei had against Mega Charizard. But anyways, so you are gonna side sleep against her victory march incoming? And
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to block this Neo tank off.
I think her plan is to put the Neotank here, make sure that you cannot block this com tower, and next turn with Victory March get the com tower. And I don't think it's a good idea, but thinking of the logic pattern of Mega Charizard and how greedy he is, he's gonna try to get your com tower.
Yeah, exactly. And I just deny this by basically killing any infantry that could capture it and blocking off her tank. I mean her Neo tank.
And right now you are covering. I would have moved this fighter completely into this area, because if the stealth, like the only units that this stealth can attack right now are this on this area. And remember that we know that this stealth is here because she rebelled it. So I would have moved this fighter into this area, and then
was it able to?
I think so. Or did you? Okay. I know, because you have it already here, but you killed last turn. You killed the thingy, how you call it, the bomber. So bringing the fighter into this area, I don't think it's a good idea. I should have stayed with the fighter here, so it covers all the map instead of moving it here.
What I thought was basically, okay, I killed a bomber on the right side, and from how she played, she split her forces on both sides. So I imagined if she has additional aircraft, which was before she revealed herself, then it would be on top. But yeah, it wasn't.
The problem with making this move is that you are cutting off your options.
I see.
So you are trying to guess something that you don't know for sure, and by trying to guess, you are cutting off your options. Look at this Neotank. What is this Neotank gonna do?
Exactly, it doesn't even have vision. Like, I mean, I could have also, for all she knows, occupied the forest after killing off the infantry.
Yes. So now she has to move away with the Neotank. She won't be able even to get the home tower if he wants to get the victory march. And the black ball transporting infantry. Yeah, she's about to get the 2 captures if you don't stop them, but it's like, okay. Okay, to hit KO with the stealth, but you were covering your medium tank, so that stealth is gonna die next turn.
Yeah, this medium tank was basically premium bait with how she responded. I mean, she didn't have to go, but if she didn't, I would have just picked up the properties at the bottom.
You were perfectly covering your medium tank with both your bomber and your fighter, so it's not like you were hacking. It's like you were just covering each unit with the other. So that's the power of covering your units. And also you are doing alright again on the income. She's about to get another victory march, but I think you were able to recover until a point you are not in danger or losing by capture. Although I could have ring an infantry into this HQ, and the only reason for that is look at your vision. Right now you don't see this tile here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's not in range. You have to count enemy infantry from Sami like 5 move. Okay, so it's safe from here. But be careful, because I have seen games where Sami has won, even that she was getting destroyed. You get the Neotank.
Yeah, I was actually really paranoid that she might maybe get get the HQ, but yeah, my HQ was safe all along.
You are destroying her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the fighter, and at this point, it was clear that the game is basically over.
And you even you didn't have, like, sometimes it's not like it doesn't cost you anything to get an infantry into the HQ, and the only way you lose this game right now, in my opinion, is by a HQ capture, and it's impossible if you think about it, but you don't have to think about it. Just put it there, make it sure, and that's it.
Yeah, essentially, I wanted to double check. Maybe I did some mistake in my thoughts, and yeah, just block it. As you said, it doesn't cost me.
Because at this point you have destroyed so many valuable units that I don't see how you are gonna lose unless you get the HQ capture.
I mean, all she can have are basically infantry and weak vehicles.
She still gets 3 properties away from you, but at this point you will be able to capture them back.
Yeah, and also I'm winning huge on unit count.
Double anti-air.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
she knows I have a bomber and a fighter, but anti-air isn't gonna turn anything around now.
If you need to counter a fighter and a bomber, you have to build your own fighter. You don't. Double anti-air won't be able to keep up with the fighter and the bomber.
Exactly.
They move so fast. But anyways, you keep capping. So even though after a victory march, you are not that behind. You are only 2k behind because you are gonna capture this port that you are not doing. But yeah, like, and you are gonna capture these northern properties and these Iceland too. So at this point, you have to make sure to not overextend and secure the win.
Yeah, exactly. At this point I wanted to move it slowly forward and just capture the properties that I should have, like at the top, and then slowly march forward. And so the game could have just taken a bit, I guess, like 10 more turns, but she just resigned.
Which is wise, because at that point it was hopeless. Let's check the stats. I think you have killed a lot of units. The deaths, kills, you have killed 54 and got 30 kills, 30 deaths. And oh my god, look at the value of the deaths and the kills.
Yeah, exactly. And even though I can't tell her exact unit count in Fog, I knew that I had to be ahead like at least 20 units.
And also, she has generated a lot much funds than you, like 66,000 more than you. Like, that's a huge amount of income.
Yeah, it's like 3 turns worth on this map, basically.
Yeah, and she didn't utilize them very correctly, sacking the Neo tank, the bomber, the stealth. Like, it was very, very sad to see how because this is how you play Sammy. You get ahead on income because you abuse your day-to-day bonus of not being able to be interrupted, and also the victory march, and you outtech your opponent. You will copters every turn and maybe some mechs. I wish, with the amount of helicopters that Sammy has, I wish I would have seen at least a couple of mechs, because they are not great on this map, but I think they have more usage than you would think, because you naturally want to wheel a helicopter on this map, and that means that if you have, like, I don't know, imagine turn 9 and you have 18 fans, and you can wheel double tank and a mech, and the helicopter that is coming back from bringing an infantry on this island can get here and secure an artillery placement, because you also want to wheel at least one artillery in your strong side or weak side. I would rather go in the strong side to how you call it. You put the artillery here. You start capturing this. You put your vehicles behind and you fish for kills. Like you are leaving the fight on the infantry and then you recover it with artillery. But anyways, I think it was a very interesting match.
Yeah, I also think
what
so.
level of match is this? Like,
Was like low to mid 1000s.
oh yeah.
It was Koro Sensei asked me to review it, and yeah, I'm doing it because I saw the replay and I thought it was interesting enough to make a commentary about it.
Yeah, so it's certainly not master play here, but yeah, I guess it's kind of decent. But I certainly got a lot of learning opportunities here. I mean, I can certainly go more aggressive in the early game, and I have to work on my tactics.
I think one thing in Fog compared to Standard, in Standard you can figure out. I mean, it's just you have to still study the map if you want to play very well. But in Standard you can will your opening through the game. But on Fog you have to have your plan very clear, because if you are going doubling like you did at day 6 or something with your tank, that you didn't know where to go with this tank, if you know exactly what property you want to aim for with artillery or where you want to force fight, for example, you are planning to bring an artillery here and you are planning to not deny this city because you will put an infantry here and start capping and forcing fight. If you have a plan, you know you don't need to sack an infantry into this cap, or you know what I mean. So it's much more smoother for Fog to study the map than in Standard. It's very much more important. But anyways, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving this replay away, and it was very fun.
Thanks also a lot for the opportunity and for the commentary.